You have a room full of enablement people. You have to get results. I do not believe practice makes perfect. Sorry. Every training program I have ever set where you ask people, what do you do? We do role play. What do you do? We do practice. What do you do? Oh, over and over and over. The problem is I could teach all of you, right? Hey, here's the thing. You go ahead and practice this skill. How do you know that's the most effective skill for you and best practices? So in my mind, I do not believe practice makes perfect because I have seen too many programs where I come in behind that program and I go, great, let's show me your discovery skills. Let's do it. Let's role play. Here, let me give you 4 sentences of a sales call that I listened to in your industry, in this company. Here's 4 sentences. What questions are you going to ask? Write them down. Don't tell me how good you are. Show me. And so a thing I want to leave with you, and it's interesting because I do have a class in the business school at Stanford, which is ironic. I have no college degree. So the interesting thing about me is I am not an academic. I'm a guy that believes that there are some fundamentals in how you shift behaviors. And you never go after the behaviors. You go after the beliefs that govern behaviors. And Professor and I are in alignment on that belief. And so for me, when I think of a room of enablement people, we have to be very clear. Lecture-based doesn't work. You talking to people, having people kind of recite a script, it doesn't work. It gives you an effect, but what's the most effective effect, right? So Carrie Walsh-Jennings, she is an Olympic gold volleyball player. She said a couple of things. She came in motivational speak in the morning, and I was just like, awesome. I mean, that's cool, right? Gold medals, multiple gold medals. Wins a bronze, is pissed. Got to go back and get a gold. Not leaving my career. And so she said 2 things that I went, and I'm not speechless very often, but she said this. She's an Olympic gold medalist on the volleyball, beach volleyball. Are y'all with me? She works out multiple times a day to earn the right to get on the beach. I'm like, what? Wait, she doesn't get to just, I'm going to go practice volleyball. She has foundational skills that she does and builds to have to justify to get on the beach. I was like, I love that. And I got pretty fired up about that because I'm an old school guy. I'm old. Here's my deal. I believe we can do miracles in days. That's my fundamental belief. I believe we can shift beliefs and behaviors in days. I believe that's what I do for a living. I've done it for 33 years. The reason Ring Central is able to do those results, what they did, amazing enablement team, amazing follow-up. They have a tool that forces accountability to skills. Don't tell me how good you are, show me. Don't tell me how good you are, show me. And so when I think of that, what they do and why they've been able to do what they do, there's a million reasons. However, what are you doing to force effective change in how your salespeople engage with customers? What are you doing? Now, if you go, read this script, learn these slides, nice job, congratulations. We get to learn the script, we know the slides. But I always thought that there was a thing called discovery and fundamentals of selling. I always thought there was some things about understanding and solving customer business pain, really, truly understanding what is going on with that customer. Giving them a list of questions and say, here it is, does not drive a behavioral change. So when I think about what you guys do, you're the most important group of all. Because if I have 5 awesome salespeople, I only get to be as good as those 5. We need this room to give me 50. That's what we need. But not 50 people that are cookie cutter on theory. Carrie Walsh, she said something that was really interesting. I really loved it. She said, lecture, like talking, doesn't create behavioral change. Sometimes you got to get dirty. And I was like, I love that. And so when I think about, when you guys said, okay, pick a point, it's this. Perfect practice makes perfect. And by the way, how are you making sure they show you? What does that look like? All role play is not the same. Sorry, all role play is not the same. What is the purpose of your role play? It's to fit together pieces of a bigger picture. And so in my little 10 minutes, if I had any feedback for you, it would be, what is the skills you are asking of people to be different and effective, and how are you measuring that? I built a career off of this belief. We don't need training. We hire really experienced salespeople. These people, she's been in the business 10 years, he's been in the business 20 years. And you know what? They both failed. And people are like, why? It must be our hiring. Well, it's like this belief of we hire good people, therefore, by definition, they'll be successful here. It doesn't work that way. And I know all of you have experienced that, right? And so let me leave you with this thought. And by the way, what's really cool for me is I teach, yes, I do teach a class. I have the only skills-based class in the business school at Stanford. I get second-year MBA students, which is so awesome because I don't have a degree. And the very first day, I start with this. Please, whatever you do, do not let this fancy education get in the way you make money. And they look at me and they're pissed. And then I go, great, get out a piece of paper. I'm going to read you 4 sentences. Let's look at what you and how you look at a sales process. And then we jump right in and we start doing some role plays. And what happens is we create an experience where people go, this stuff is so easy. And I have really smart students. I have smart students in my sales training programs. I have really smart students in my business school. And what's amazing is the smarter they are, the harder it is for them to be curious. The harder it is. The harder it is to go try and understand what's going on. And we teach traditional and non-traditional selling. So raising money as like a founder, that's a sales process. Getting someone to come to work for you when all you got is a bunch of equity that's worthless, selling process, right? Getting out in front of a customer. I'm coaching a couple students right now. They have a brand new idea, and we were talking on the way here today, and they said, hey, look, I go, what's the purpose of your pilot? You're going out for a pilot. What's the purpose? Well, we want them to try our stuff. I'm like, okay, great. What questions are you going to ask? What is the end result you're trying to accomplish? Back end load that. Let's come up with some questions. Walk me through it. In fact, let's role play. I'll be you be the customer. But first, I'm going to be the customer, and you be you, and let's role play. By the way, make sure you're recording this call, and make sure that we're able to go back and forth, and then we'll listen to the recording, and then we'll come back and look at what was effective and not. And they're like, holy shit! And so I share that story with you because I could just say, here, watch this video on the 8 questions you should ask. Watch this video on 5 things you should do. When Eli came up with this idea of saleshood, it was the brilliance. And by the way, I love Eli. We're dear friends. And by the way, he knows that I'm not here to blow smoke or any of that stuff. And we have some disagreements, which is awesome because I like when really smart people you get to start sparring on ideas. When he started this, his vision was really simple. We have to give people a way to practice perfectly and share the team and really be accountable to learning. And if you think about it, the stats were up there. Each person that did a pitch was 5x, 5 times they watched it. Well, I know this. If I'm going to give a pitch that's recorded and I'm going to put it out there, I promise you, if my boss and my boss's boss, my boss's boss, and the CEO are going to potentially see it, I'm going to practice it a few times. And then, if I'm a good cheater, I'm going to go and look at other people's that are doing it, figure out what works and what doesn't, put myself on the backside of that, and make sure I learn best practice from them, so then mine's better. And if I'm really good, I'm going to go put mine out there and go, can I redo mine? And that becomes having to share best practices and accountability. Now, if you do that with questioning, if you do that with qualification, if you do that with customization, if you do that with objection handling, if you do that with all those different areas, all of a sudden now you have a culture that you get to have a stock price like Ring Central. Thank you.